You mean like why are other people calling it easy?
Yeah.
I think other people.
I fucking when Game Boy Jones fucking said you ain't got that car and you ain't got that whip, I was like, and then he said that's what you do, you character rap, and I was like, exactly, it's exactly the point. Like some people may rap about the real shit, and I fully believe that, but a lot of it is character rap. Like there's a couple people I know who have wrote songs that none of the shit they rap about has happened to them.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I've done that.
Oh.
Like I don't specifically write I guess I'm talking more about writing things where you don't have like an actual not viewpoint on it, but it didn't physically happen to you. You like hear it secondhand, and so you write like a story about it or something like that.
And it's still character rap. It's a story.
Yeah.
It turns out it's like Logic said. Why would anybody care about my everyday life when my everyday life is boring?
I'm so glad you made that reference. That made me so happy when you did that.
I mean, I listen to Tasty Jam's radio all the time now, so I listen to that song almost every week.
That one was a contender for my album of the year. It didn't quite make it to the top, but
Oh, we're just gonna go right into that?
No, absolutely not. But I was trying to think of why I started this train of thought. I hit record for a reason.
Well, no, I was talking about my.
Oh,
Tasty Jam.
I was gonna say. So Dice was talking about his Tasty Jam before the podcast, and I had to hit record just because I thought this was interesting. He brought up that he did some stuff that wasn't specifically like other anime characters, like non-media created.
Yeah, I was gonna say he does a lot of non-anime characters as well.
Yeah. I guess we're just gonna start off with Tasty Jams, and I'm gonna talk about your Tasty Jam.
Go ahead.
But as you pointed out, he has had a few songs that aren't specifically character raps. One of them, and the two most recent ones that I've heard where he went off and absolutely blew me away, they were raps centered at people who were dissing on him.
To be clear, we are talking about Daddy Fat Snaps and the new song that just came out, Easy Bag, featuring Game Boy Jones, and it is my Tasty Jam of the year. And if this came out I'm sorry, it's my Tasty Jam of the week. And if this came out earlier, this would have been my Tasty Jam of the year. Oh.
But the two of the more recent ones that we're talking about, the first one's Easy Bag, as Dice just said. That one just came out. When did that one come out? Yesterday? Last Saturday? Okay. So 3 days?
His Alucard rap will be coming out tomorrow.
Ooh. And then the other one he did was the Among Us rap.
Yep. Yes,
where
Imposters Among Us.
Yeah, it wasn't about the game Among Us. He just used that theme and used it to like describe the fan base.
He had one line that was associated with it.
Yeah, it was loosely themed. But they weren't like specifically character raps. And I was like, oh, well, does he have more original stuff? And Dice was like, yeah, in fact, recently he had a son was born and he did a rap about him. And I was like, oh, that piqued my interest because I told you that I do my writing drills every night.
Mm-hmm.
For the past like week, every single one of them has started with like just the little tagline, my son. And I've just been like writing things that I wish, not that I wish my dad would have told me, but like things I just wish I would have known early in life. Very much inspired by, I've listened to a lot of Free Your Eyes Only by J. Cole, which is a love letter to his daughter, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a weird coincidence that you're like, yeah, he wrote a song for his son who was just born recently. I was like, for the past week, I've just been writing things I want to tell to my son.
You're having a daughter. It's confirmed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a daughter. I mean, I already have daughter names picked out. So
The greatest thing is that I'm gonna have a son. You're gonna have a daughter. And the good news, everybody, the in-laws already like each other. You know, it's perfect.
Oh, we'd be the in-laws.
We're in-laws.
Sorry, I was thinking one step higher and thinking of like the grandparents.
No.
And I
don't think any of our parents would get along with each other. Maybe mom.
No, you know what? I feel like my mom and dad would get along. They can get along with anybody.
My mom can get along with anybody. She's very much like me. She doesn't take shit. Yeah. So you're gonna have a daughter. I'm gonna have a son. The in-laws already love each other, and it's definitely going to be their choice. They will have a choice, and it'll be
their
one.
choice, but it'll very much be puppeteered by unseen hands.
It's gonna be
we're gonna be the Illuminati.
You telling her that he's bad for her and you can't see her, so now there's like that 16-year-old teen movie thing where the girl wants what her parents don't want her to have.
Oh my god!
And I'll be like, you have to act like the bad boy, but if you ever hurt a girl, I will come and break your door down, blah blah blah, because I'm the good reinforced dad.
What? The good reinforced dad?
Yeah, like I reinforce him like to just be a good guy, but at the same time, it's like I know there's an ego to all this, so you have to play the bad guy a little bit.
You're my son,
Be
so
mysterious. That was my angle. I was mysterious. I was always there to help people, and anytime anybody needed me, I was right there. But anytime anybody asked me what was wrong, I was like, nothing.
Jay Mysterio.
Just Jay Mysterio Jr.
Oh, what's the middle name?
What?
What's the middle name
For what?
of your child, of your son?
Oh, probably.
It's gonna be Jay Mysterio Jr. But what's the middle name? Unless Mysterio is the middle name, and you legally changed his last name to Junior when he was born,
No.
so that his full name would be just the letter J, Mysterio Jr.
No, I have my names picked out. I've had my names picked out for a while.
I feel that.
I just didn't find the person until about a couple years ago.
Aww.
Shut the fuck up.
Look at you saying you want to shoot a baby in there.
That's one of my favorite jokes. That is disgusting to tell. It's not my joke at all, but it's why is it okay to tell people?
Oh, I get it.
Oh, there. You want me to stop now?
No, go ahead. Tell it to the listeners.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Why is it okay to tell your wife's family and your family that you're trying for a baby, but it's not okay to tell them that you're constantly creep-eyeing her on the daily?
On the reg.
On the reg.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's the same thing, just saying it in a
More
nicer way.
tactfully.
More tactfully. Before we transition into the Tasty Jams, this is a first.
Into the Tasty Jams. We've been talking about the Tasty Jams this whole time. We got derailed like we always do.
Right, but now I'm going to let you talk about it after we introduce a new segment where I share some of my daily writing drills with all of you.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Where I said by the end of this year I wanted to have my album written, and it didn't happen. I have a lot of material to work with for the album. My ADHD won't let me settle on a theme, and if I don't have a theme, I can't write, and it's weird. But there you go. So this is going to be some material I've been working on specifically from the My Son stuff we talked about earlier. My son, the deeper you fall, the harder the climb. You losing the feeling of fighting, it's fine. You're bruising your ego and breaking your spine. I know cause I share DNA with your mind. You erase the pain, you ain't got a choice. You push that shit down till it breaks in your voice. Breaking the leaves, splice it and leave. Does it get better? You better believe. The harder the climb, the people divine. It's time to grow up and stop wasting my time. I'm taking my time. I'm taking my time. Patience of virtue ingrained in my mind. Face it or not, you ain't got a choice. There are some things that you just cannot avoid. Breaking the leaves, splice it and leave. I hope it get better. I gotta believe. Yeah, that was That's how I'm gonna force myself to continue writing even when I don't want to, because now I have to share it with all of you each week.
There we go.
So that was a little. Oh man, I don't even know what we're gonna call that segment yet, but we'll find a name. That being said, Dice, your Tasty Jam, Easy Bag by Daddy Fat Snaps.
Easy Bag by Daddy Fat Snaps. Once again, there were some people who were pointing the finger at Daddy Fat Snaps and didn't know that not only did he have lyrical weapons packed on him, but so did Game Boy Jones.
Game Boy Jones' verse was so good. It was that dude flowed through the whole thing.
I've talked about Game Boy Jones, but I've never put any of his songs on the Tasty Jams playlist before. I have constantly put Daddy on the playlist.
Oh yeah.
But I have been listening to a lot of Game Boy Jones. The dude is just as much of a monster as Daddy is. I don't think he has as much releases as he does, because Daddy, like I said, aside from a break here and there, Daddy releases every week.
Mm-hmm.
But this song, oh my God. Once again, some people were aiming at them and was talking about how anime rap is like easiest thing in the world to do. All you have to do is say you power up, you do this, you do that, and make it sound like a big bad hero thing. And it's like they just never listen to Daddy shit, because if you listen to, I don't even know Demon Slayer, but Tanjiro Breathe, the rap he did for that, it's captivating. I don't know that story at all, but it is serious. There is there's emotion in it. He puts himself in the characters, and all of them do, and it's really cool. So when they do the power up and banger raps, it's really fun. Cell rap was a hell of a good rap, especially for the third verse. It's not easy to do, especially the lyrical flow that he has, the words that he uses. It's not your average Joe person down the street trying to throw this thing together and just make a Goku rap off his head for a freestyle. It's amazing the time and effort that they put into it, and to be able to do one a week is ridiculous. And this song puts all of the hate to silence for me.
Mm.
I didn't even know it was out there, and now that this happened, it's like, oh, it's just massive warfare against this because it's dead. That nothing can stand in the way.
And I think one of the things that it breaks down to, as far as like people saying it's easy, is because they don't relate to it. Like they don't I think a lot of those people just don't understand the source material is all. And they just see it as that guy made a rap about Goku. Ha, what a nerd, what a weeb. I don't need to listen to this because you're making the easy money off of it.
I don't know if we can do this, Mr. Editor, but somehow, some way, I want like a playlist of all the times in this podcast that he has called me a nerd and a weeb for liking anime.
That will not happen. That would require me to go through 46 podcasts because I guarantee in at least 2/3 of them I have called you a weeb.
That is literally you're pointing a finger and 3 are pointing back at you.
That was a good callback to like the first 20 or 30 episodes of the podcast.
Anytime I talked about One Piece, which is why I just stopped talking about it for a while.
Yeah, but you're back on the One Piece kind of. You got that new game,
it's not
Warriors
new.
game.
It's not new.
Well, you got the game.
I have a new game, but it's not a new game. I bought the Pirates Warriors 3, whatever. It's a Warriors type game like the popular. What is that Warriors? What is the series that is blank Warriors?
Isn't it just Warriors?
No, it's something Warriors.
Well, there's like Hyrule Warriors. That's the Legend of Zelda one.
But it's like any game that's named Warriors is because it's named after. Oh my God,
Dynasty Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors. That's it.
Oh wait, so like that was the original, and then they made
I think that
versions?
was like I think that's just the first game that like made that game type was Dynasty Warriors. So now like Hyrule Warriors. Pirate Warriors. I even think that Fate Blaze Blue game I have is something Warriors.
I had no idea they were related.
Oh no, I think that's the game type. Is that thousands of people come and swarm you, and you can just blast people away with stupid moves and be stupid fun.
I played Dynasty Warriors way back on whatever console it was on or whatever version I played, and I just thought like the game was Dynasty Warriors, and that was it. It was just this weird standalone PS whatever game. I didn't realize it was like part of not an overall series, but like a bigger umbrella of blank Warriors games.
Yeah, actually, Dynasty Warriors is like 11 games deep in its series.
I had no
that
idea.
Shit's still going. Like,
oh man, that's crazy.
On new platforms, that shit's still going.
Man, we should.
We can play. I mean, I can't. I almost had him playing One Piece. The Warriors game, but it wouldn't do the story justice.
See. Plus,
but if you want to play Warriors games, I think I'm into them because this game, I probably invested 10 hours in the 4 days I've owned it.
I just had this. I don't think we could do One Piece Warriors because it'll get content ID'd.
I was thinking that too.
Because we tried 7 Deadly Sins at one time.
That's why it can't be YouTube. It would have to be stream.
Ah, true.
That's how
the vodka can go up.
Yeah, we couldn't do the VOD, but so what?
So what? Fuck it.
Tune into the stream, bitches.
That's pretty much what I told you to do. That hour-long Pepsi ad. So I told him about this scene the other day on stream. If you have ever seen World War Z,
which I guess I haven't.
It is a Brad Pitt film in which it's your typical zombie flick, except they're super fast, super strong, and they're smart.
The only thing
they adapt.
The only thing I know about World War Z is that it played no part to the source material aside from the title.
I can't remember if I've heard that or not, but I'll take your word for it.
The artist came out and said something on Twitter, like the only thing associated between the two is the title.
But this is going to be spoiler free for the most part. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry. It's only like 20 years old at this point, or like 12 years old. What you gasped?
I have a Pepsi can.
It worked. The product placement made you. So about 10 minutes before the movie ends, Brad Pitt gets the MacGuffin, and he is walking out of a large. It looks like a hospital. And he stops before he leaves. The camera pans out, and lo and behold, it is a vending machine stocked to the brim with crisp, cold, refreshing Pepsis. Just like Dice is holding right now.
I'm already drinking something right crack it.
And before he continues on down the hallway, he decides to grab a Pepsi out of the case take a nice cold drink of it, and he takes a drink so that the logo could be facing towards the camera, but it's just a blank blue can. And I'm wondering if they like paid enough money to get their product placement there, but they're like, yeah, we don't need the extra 2.5 mil to have the logo in his hand, and I like.
I
It's
know. I
weird.
think it's a
weird.
director's choice where that's too much, but you didn't already like. It wasn't a comedy, right?
No.
There was in no way a comedy.
No, it's an
because
action
to
film.
me that would have been like, here's where it's too much, so we can't have the logo facing out because that's just obvious. However, when you look right behind them and there is no other option, it is just Pepsi
And the scene is very like
and a generic vending machine, not a Pepsi vending.
And it's like the background is very like fluorescent lighting. It's not monochromatic, but I can't think of the word I want to use for it. All the colors are very dull, except for the bright blue and white Pepsis shining out of this dingy freaking vending machine.
Because if it was a comedy, I'd have had Brad Pitt have the logo dead out and just look at the camera and fucking give me a cheeky old wink right before he did his thing.
He didn't do that, but as he did finish sipping the Pepsi, he did go. He gave one of those like exaggerated gulps, like, and then like wiped a little bit off of his lip, and I'm like, oh my god! I remember
You know how no one drinks.
I watched that movie in theaters. I remember specifically because I remember turning to my sister and going, "Was this a Pepsi ad? Did I sit an hour and 20 minutes through a zombie-fueled Pepsi ad? Are you actually serious?" I watched the rest of the movie. Oh, and then he uses the rest of the Pepsis in the vending machine. He like spills them all over the floor to make a big sound so the zombos all come running at him. The mutants.
And he walks through them. Pepsi single-handedly saves the day.
If you only see that scene, it looks like this man is rendered invulnerable to zombies via the effects of Pepsi Cola. Like, if you just take that 1 minute scene, I'll link it down below. It just looks like Pepsi gives you superpowers.
We played it on stream and I cried. I believe I cried.
Oh, that's where this came about. We don't give a shit about throwing a VOD on YouTube, because
You're gonna have to shorten this shit down.
No, we can play that on Twitch. We can't play it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, we can't.
We don't have to. I'm not shortening anything. Well, I'm shortening that one part.
Yeah, that one part's a definite. Are we ready for the awards, or did you not talk? You didn't talk about your Tasty Jam.
No, I didn't. That's how we started, and that's how we're gonna end. JK, not end. My Tasty Jam, damn it, that's 2. My Tasty Jam this week is Headaches by Raveena. I don't think I've ever made you listen to Raveena, but it is a soft, sensual song. It's very good vibe music, I'll say. It's what if I ever get like a really bad headache and I just need to like lay in bed and not do anything, I'll usually put Raveena on just because it's like very soothing to listen to as the background. So that'll be up on the 421 playlist. You can find that on Spotify. Be sure you're following Tasty Jams Radio so you can get all of these Tasty Jams directly into your ear holes.
Seriously, I drove to Erie for holiday break and all I did was put on Tasty Jams, and it's just one kind of random song after the other. Nothing's ever, unless you get a string of JID for that month that Colby just suggested JID over and over again. Mm-hmm. Or you get a string of Daddy, which on my end, Daddy Fat Snaps, I can't just call him Daddy.
Nope, String of Daddy is the best.
However, this is the brand new year of the podcast. This is coming out on Jan 1st, so it's 2021.
Hi, everyone.
We survived.
Well, we can't say that for certain. We don't know if this will get uploaded.
Well, that's fair. But if it doesn't, then wait. The only way it'll get uploaded is if we survive. So we survived.
Ah, fair. Good point.
Yeah.
Unless
you're ahead of schedule like a good person.
Well, I'm going to say unless the robots take over, in which case this will be uploaded, but we'll still die and we wouldn't have survived because all human life would be gone. But
no, we have Pepsi. Pepsi will save us.
I got a Mountain Dew.
It's like I'm going to keep Pepsi and Twisted Tea on me at all times now.
Hi.
Have you seen it? Oh, have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you need to save yourself from zombies, robots, or the alt-right? Have a Pepsi and a Twisted Tea. You'll be safe.
Oh, that was so funny. It was really fun because the first time I seen the video, right, I heard it all and I went, "Oh, he's gonna fucking kill him. He's gonna rock his world." And he did the little flip and he missed it. And my ass went, "Ha! Ah, you didn't look like a badass." And then as soon as I said that, he fucking nailed him, and I went, oh shit, never mind. Oh, you heard the fucking soul leave the market as soon as he hit him. Ding dong. His soul left. He went, nope, I'm done, man. You have fun.
Oh, the memes have been so good.
I didn't know what it was. Twisted Tea just started popping up on my freaking medias, and I was like, what is going on? So I finally found it, and I went, oh, he deserved all of it. But my God.
Twisted Tea for close quarters combat, soup cans for long range artillery. Boy, that was a weird intro into this segment.
Into this year.
Yeah, we decided, 2020's been kind of a shitty year. I think we can all kind of collectively, unless you're Jeff Bezos, say that 2020's been a pretty shitty year.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
We wanted to kind of take a moment and look back at some of our favorite things that happened this year. And that is why we have decided to start the annual Salty Awards Show. Yes, thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's so nice of you to be here.
You're the host. Don't fucking look at me.
Oh, I know. I was waiting for more trumpet solo.
No. I'm sorry. You have to say something.
Well, if I said something, it wouldn't be a solo, would it? But we decided to look back through some of our favorite moments of the year, and hopefully maybe share some. We do recommendations almost every week, every other week on the podcast. So why not just do them all, get them all out of the way right now, right? For the entire last year.
Plus, we can just gush about all the stuff that we liked in the year.
Yeah, I kind of like to talk about myself a lot. So
selfishness.
Yeah,
do it. Do it more.
Yeah. We've got ourselves a few categories here. Really, the only caveat was that they had to tie into 2020. Somewhat. We'll kind of explain them as we go along. Yeah. But I think the first one that you could probably expect us to talk about is Album of the Year.
Woo, 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 woo.
There were so many good albums that came out this year. Some of my runner-ups, RTJ4 dropped. Joyner Lucas dropped ADHD, No Pressure from Logic, NSP's new album, Aesop Rock. It has been such a good year for music. I mean, I guess you could say that about every year.
Yeah.
It was really hard to narrow down what got my album of the year, but I think I had to go back to kind of the roots of where I found myself in January, what I was listening to musically, and it was Revenge of the Dreamers 3. So that one, specifically the Deluxe Edition, because that one came out this year. The regular version came out 2 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. But the Deluxe version added 12 to 14 songs, so it's like a whole new album anyways. And the reason I love it so much, I mean, number one, it's all the Dreamville artists, and that's what started my Dreamville artist kick. I found so many good musicians and producers through that album. Essentially, the story of it, I'll tell it very briefly. Over the course of 2 weeks, they invited over 300 different artists and producers into one space. And you know how many songs they recorded in those 2 weeks, Dice?
38.
142. They recorded 142 songs over the course of 2 weeks and compressed it down first to 15 songs that came out in 2019. And then we got 30 songs on the Deluxe Cut that came out in January of this past year, or of January 2020.
James Madison got sick after writing 5. John Jay wrote 56.
Dun, 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 dun,
I don't know how many.
Hamilton wrote the other 51.
I know that, but I don't think that lines up with the math I did in my head.
It doesn't. But yeah, and considering that the first one went platinum, that means that in the course of the first. Just the first album. I don't think the Deluxe is at platinum yet. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it means over 30 different artists all got a platinum record off Revenge of the Dreamers 3. And I think that's so cool to be able to give back to, there were a lot of unknown artists. Not unknown artists, but, smaller, what's the word I'm looking for? Not local legend. You're, local famous.
Local?
Sure.
Local talent?
Yeah, he invited a bunch of people who were very, very popular within their small subculture, but didn't break out of that bubble yet. He had Guap Dad 4000. I think Ski Mask the Slump God was in there, but none of his tracks made it onto the deluxe version. Buddy's been a really good one. Slack, or I think it's Black, but the 6 is the B, so I don't know which way it's pronounced. Either way, I've gushed enough for now. But Revenge of the Dreamers 3 it was J. Cole doing a fun album with a bunch of different people. A bunch of people got platinum records for it, and he gave back to the community while also getting his own, because I'm sure he made a lot of money off that too.
Yeah.
And got all of his Dreamville artists their little spot in the sun. Oh, also Lil Baby and DaBaby and Luda are on it.
Did you name them all?
All the artists?
Yeah, just scroll them up.
Yeah, sure. There's Ari Lennox,
Okay.
there's Maribah, there's Earthgang, there's Jid, J. Cole was on it, Reason was on it, we got...
So I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I didn't plan nearly as much to say as my comrade did. He was very passionate with his. My couple of runner-ups, Tech had a new album drop this year. NSP, I agreed, their new album was pretty good. It was very close. NSP was a very close second for mine. But you listed my top album of the year as your runner-up because my top album of the year is RTJ4.
It's fair. It's a banger.
It's still to this day the only album that we have reviewed that I looked so much research up on, that I still constantly play whenever I can at work, or when I'm at work, I guess.
Not recently.
Yeah, not recently.
Fuck you, 2020.
On the Tasty Jams, we have two of the same song. We have two songs by RTJ, and it's all off RTJ4. It was the most anticipated album for me all year, and it never stopped being the one that I always go to listen to if I have absolutely nothing else.
For me, it's my second favorite album from them. RTJ2 is still my favorite, and I think it'll always be, but RTJ4 is a banger front to back.
I'm about to say, I'm not having the contention between RTJ2, 3, and 4.
Absolutely not.
Because I personally like 3 a lot.
My other album of the year was going to be Spillagin, but then I thought...
I was waiting for that one.
Honestly, I had to go back because the only reason I found Spillagin was because of Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Because it had Earthgang, Maribah, Jid.
But I want to throw out there as well, I will say this was the hardest category for me because of the fact that I've focused so much on other underground artists like YouTube rappers and YouTube artists and things. And they don't always release albums, so
Lots of singles.
So check out YouTube if you ever interested in here. Just give some random people a listen. Try them out.
Have you listened through Cal Scrubby's whole album?
No. I listened to his playlist on YouTube. I have not listened to his whole album. I have not listened to an album. I've listened to his hits.
I recommend it. Him and Jack Harlow put out an album very recently, and they're two like quote unquote YouTube rappers that I respect.
Twisted also put out a new album as my like little psychopathic thing.
But you said that one was the hardest category for you. The hardest category for me was the next one, and it was Top Jam.
No, this was easy.
The Tastiest Jam.
This was not hard for me. I thought about this category for maybe 5 minutes and went, no, it has to be this song. It has to be this song.
This one was hard for me because there was two that were tossed up for it. But I'm pretty sure we have the same one for our Top Tasty Jam. 3, 2, 1. Top Down
by Earthgang.
Yeah, Top Down.
And I'm flowing through the city. Yeah.
It's the perfect cruising song. It's a feel-good song. You can't not, when the chorus, by the time the second chorus comes on, you already know like the hook in the chorus, so you're singing along to it. And it does it in a way that doesn't feel like pop music where it's formulaic.
The flow is amazing. The song is vibey. And it was my introduction into Earthgang, which has now become one of my top 15 favorite artists.
Top 15. That's, you know what? We've listened to a lot of albums in our time, so that's a good number.
I'm 28, man. Like it's hard with all, you grow up in the 90s and there's a lot of good rappers from the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah. The other Tasty Jam that I had for my Top Jam was Baptize.
I had Imposters Among Us from Daddy. I had what else did I have? I had Thunder and Lightning from NSP. I also had the other song from NSP. What was it? My Welcome to My Parents' House.
Mm-hmm.
That one was, I always laugh at that one. It was really good. But
oh yeah.
No, it was Top Down. I thought about that for 5 minutes and went, I will listen to Top Down over all of these.
For me, like, it's weird because Spillagin keeps popping up in, like, most of these like, categories.
Because me and you have the same personality. My Top Jam also could have been Addict from Has Been Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
It's the number one song on my most recommended from 2020.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But that's also from having a little bit of sippy sip and just wanting to sing it.
Yeah, I think my most played of 2020 is Just.
Yeah.
But that was, yeah, my other one was just Baptize, and I think it's because
Really good song.
it was one of the teasers they put out for Spillagen, and they put a lot of work into the video, and it was the best verse at that point that I'd ever heard from Dr. Dot. And I was like, all right, you've hooked me.
So that is the first time we combined. We do not know if any of the other times we're going to combine, but Tasty Jam, we kind of bounced off each other, and we realized that we both came to the same conclusion.
Yeah, we talk so much about music that it just kind of happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The next one though, we're gonna pivot off of music a little bit. The best game or DLC released in 2020.
Now, see, this is a hard one too because I don't know a lot of new games that I played in 2020.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot. I mean, there were some really big titles that dropped, like when New Horizons came out right during the first shutdown. That was a huge obsession for some people, like myself.
Runeterra dropped this year.
Runeterra did drop this year. Oh my goodness.
I thought about that, and we invested a lot of time into Runeterra. You could always include League of Legends in this because of the fact that there's always new patches.
Yeah,
I would never say this is the best game or DLC with League of Legends, though.
No,
Just
nor my favorite.
throwing shit out there. But Runeterra came out, and Runeterra is a hell of a good card game. Like, that is a good card game. Very little RNG, very good strategies, and they keep coming out with new patches and champions and stuff that constantly make the game strategic and fun.
Me and my wife play it a lot still.
If I could get Dot a better computer, I think she'd play it more.
It's on mobile now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I bet she can get it on her iPad. I wonder.
Yeah. Is that your game of the year?
No, that is not my game of the year.
What's your game of the year?
My game of the year is Hades. Hades is hands down. As soon as I started playing that game, I immediately regretted that I never tried it in early access, and I invested probably 20 hours into it within the first 72 hours of owning it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I put off doing chores. I took it to work on my Switch. I took it on vacation to Georgia. I didn't get to play it much in Georgia, but I still played it any chance I could. I made sure I went down to bed early, an hour a night, just so I could play Hades. It was the easiest thing I could have thought of here. It's Hades. Hades is such a good game. Everybody should play Hades.
Yeah. Hades was a game that we shared quite a love for. It was almost my top pick as well. I had a really tough time.
The voice acting, the story, the adaptability. Anybody, even if you're bad at roguelikes, can eventually beat and win this game. It is amazingly done. I understand why it took so long in early access, and I'm sorry that I did not help earlier. I am sorry.
Supergiant Games, I'm so sorry.
Supergiant, I don't know why I didn't just believe in you, and I apologize for my ignorance and folly.
Supergiant has never made a bad game.
Absolutely not.
They've only made 4 so far, but they've never made a bad game.
They have only made 4.
But yeah, I touched on Animal Crossing. If I still was as into it as I was then, it would have won for me.
Oh my God, Animal Crossing came out this year.
Yeah, that's how I started this category.
I'm sorry.
It came out in March. April. I think.
I don't pay attention to Animal Crossing so much that even when you say it, I'm just like, what was that?
The Sekiro DLC was a big one for me. Even though the DLC was more just like a free patch that they put out and out of the boss rush modes. That was the thing that got me back into that game and made me add 100 hours onto my save file.
Hey, I debated the Monster Train update that added the second Land of Champions because that's what got me hooked.
Monster Train's also on my list.
Monster Train got me hooked with that second area of Champions.
But so this game technically came out last year, but it came out on PC this year, so it counts. I'm picking Octopath Traveler. I bought this game.
I thought you said it was too early.
It is,
it was too late.
Well, it's for the other category. I'm calling it game now because I bought it the day before Christmas, which was 4 days ago, and I have sunk 40 hours into this game already. I haven't fallen in love with the JRPG since Final Fantasy X. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I sat down and started playing this, the first hour was like a little rough, but it's like you have the brand new game excitement, you know what I mean? So it's like, ooh, I'm playing a new game. I feel all jittery and I'm paying attention to all the story and stuff. And like from the first intro all the way up to where you start adding new characters and they start telling their stories, there's 8 different stories in the game that you have to follow, but they are all interesting enough, or at least 6 of them are interesting enough that I actually like click through all the cutscenes and read all the text and like actually pay attention to what's going on. Mm-hmm. The combat is fun. They didn't like reinvent the wheel by any means, but like the turn-based combat is is familiar enough because if you've played one turn-based combat, you've played them all to an extent. But they add a few new mechanics that I really, really enjoy. And I love that you can take any character and multi-class them however you want.
I might have to try it.
It's really fun. Like I said,
After I invest my 80 hours into my game, I might have to try it.
Yeah, I've already sunk 40 hours of the first 4 days, and I think I'm up to like level 40. I don't know if there's a level cap, but
The cookies episode put me back, so I've been catching up on editing. So I will be sinking some hours into my new pirate game. But no, Hades and Octopath Traveler for Game of the Year.
yay!
Specifically, Octopath on PC port.
Dice, do you want to introduce the next category?
So the next category was something that before we became Tasty Jams, we were just going of our recommendation of the week, and I used to add top content creators or movies and things like that. So this one is actually the top content creator of this year, but the category is a little weird. It's not that the content creator started this year, it's that we discovered them this year.
Yeah, so this one's a little bit more
Very opinion-based, but very loose in its terms.
yeah, basically who was your favorite content creator in 2020? Who made the best content during this year?
I went first the last couple of times. It's your turn. Just because you end.
You know what? That's fair enough. Critical Role was on my list. I love Critical Role. I've followed them for years and years now, and I still catch up on all the VODs. I don't get to watch it live anymore because I'm an old man. But there were some more, not original content creators, but one content creator that severely piqued my interest was Chris Ramsay. Chris Ramsay does magic.
Okay.
He solves puzzles. I
was wondering if that was the guy. I was like, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
he's going to pick the puzzle box guy.
He was a street magician turned full magician, whatever that means. He solves and creates puzzles, which I love. I started watching his content because earlier this year I was designing a puzzle box that didn't, I haven't touched it in a long time now. Maybe I should get back to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But he, like I said, he custom built puzzles and he solves custom built puzzles all the time. So I was like, I'm going to start watching this guy and see what puzzles he does. And I have gotten so many ideas off of his channel for puzzles for the escape room and for Salty Talks 4. Go watch it.
Please.
And I've always loved magic. I just kind of forgot about it for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw some of his videos of him doing magic, I was like, oh my God, I love this. He's also one of the magicians who's like, if you can buy this trick for $1 in a magic shop, I don't care showing you how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So like he has a video, the video that I'm thinking of right now is he teaches anybody who wants to watch the video how to do what's called the Bertram exchange, which is like where you have a couple of cards in your hand and you give it a wave and it shifts to a new color or a new card. Well, it doesn't look like anything's there. It's super cool. I tried it. It didn't work, but I'm bad at it, and it takes hundreds of hours to try to perfect really any magic trick. But he has kept me mesmerized for the entire year. So Chris Ramsay, you get my salty.
I watched.
Who are you giving the salty to?
I was gonna say I watched a Chris Ramsay video the other day. He solved the Crayola puzzle box. It had crayons in it. It was pretty cool.
I like that one.
So my recommendation, it's no mystery. I'm a horror movie buff guy. I love all things horror movies, including a lot of content that I usually watch is things like or found flicks with their ending explained. They usually do a bunch of horror movies and try to make sense of the twist endings at the end of it. I watch Dead Meat's Kill Count, which they go through. James A. Janice goes through all of the horror movies, and especially like old indie or old B movie ones that you've never heard of, and counts all the kills in them and shows them off, and it's really gory and really cool. However, one person I have ran into with us recently trying movie reviews and stuff and trying our hand at that this year, his name is Decker Shado. And he does movie reviews for a lot of horror. He does a lot of different things. Like he's done Power Ranger movie reviews. He's done, those bad movies. And he's done a lot of horror, a lot of famous ones, a lot of unfamous ones. He's done like a lot of Full Moon productions, but hasn't covered Puppet Master yet. But the main thing he does that I love is his Summer Ofs. And he does a full segment. For example, this year he did the Summer of Saw. So every week for 8 weeks in a row, he did the Saw movie franchise. Previous to that, he did like Freddy versus Jason, in which case the Mad Lad tackled all 14 movies in Jason in all 12 movies in Freddy, then including the sequel with that. So he is a movie reviewer who makes jokes, makes comedy scripts, but also at the same time completely understands what he's talking about. He has a very keen knowledge of the industry, of what makes a good movie, what does not.
So he's us, but smarter.
Yeah, but he's not pompous about it. He makes jokes, and all he does is just film on his couch. And he only has like 100,000 subscribers, and the man deserves a whole bunch more. He is hilarious. He doesn't give away the really. He does spoil the movie. It is a review, but if it is worth watching, he completely tells you like, "Hey, I'm about to do this. You should probably go watch the movie right now before you hear this part." He's very good at what he does, and I think his voice and everything keeps me engaged. I went to a West Virginia trip with my cousins, and for 5 hours there and back, I had to drive. And you know me, I don't always listen to music. I like to just listen to podcasts.
Yeah,
and shit
you're
like
weird.
that.
You throw YouTube on your phone while you're driving.
I do. And I threw his Summer of Hellraiser on, and I don't think I laughed so hard, because I've watched the Hellraiser series, and I don't think I've laughed so hard hearing somebody talk about those movies in my life. I was crying in the car laughing.
Seasons of Hell.
But
Oh, hold on, that run wasn't very good. Nope, I can't do runs. I'm great at bolting. Like, if you want me to belt out a good note, I'll hit it and I'll sit on it. Can't do runs. It's never my thing. I could never be an R&B singer.
anyway, I recommend Decker Shado as my content creator of the year, who I discovered. He's been around for like 8 years now.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah, I keep seeing movie reviews from 8 years ago.
So all 5 of you who listen to this podcast, make sure you go sub to Chris Ramsay
And Decker Shado.
and Decker Shado. Their links will probably, all of the links of things that we talk about today will definitely be in the description as well. Mm-hmm. But now I think we need to get a little more sad.
Yeah, this is where,
The soft piano music, go ahead and cue that up.
yeah.
We're going to talk about some of the things that we had to leave behind in 2020. In memoriam to movie theaters. Oh, movie theaters. How we don't need you anymore. How you cut your ties with Universal, I don't know if you fixed them, I don't care. Nobody needs you anymore. This is a bad bit, I'm just going to talk about it.
I was going to say,
Fucking-
Warner Brothers pretty put that bullet in there.
No, do you remember the big debacle with Universal and AMC earlier this year? Where specifically, Aaron was quoted... It assumes that we will meekly accept a reshaped view how studios and exhibitors should interact, with zero concern on Universal's part as to how its actions affect us. And that was in reference to, of all things, Trolls 2 coming out.
Oh, I do remember Trolls 2 being
Because
a big fucking stink.
They decided to release at the same time digitally and in theaters, and AMC Theaters was like, excuse you. The accepted wait time is, I think they said 74 to 77 days or weeks or whatever. And they're like, the fact that you're going around us to go ahead and put it on digital access is no bueno. We don't want any of your movies anymore, and we're not going to show them. I don't know if that's been remedied. I don't think it has. But, like, honestly, I don't want to... The reason movie theaters exist is because you can't enjoy that same experience in your home. And that's just not as true anymore. We have 4K TVs. I can get a subwoofer and shove it under my couch, and it'll give me the same effect. Like, are movie theaters still fun to go to? Yeah, absolutely. I still love going and seeing a brand new movie in the big theater with the loud sounds and the flashy lights. But, like, honest to God, if they released everything digitally, I would sit on my couch and watch the brand new whatever movie that came out.
To be fair, the only reason
And the popcorn would be way cheaper.
The only reason I would ever go to a movie I only ever go to a movie theater is because, one, the movie is not available to me otherwise. Legally. Wink. 2, I'm going with my friends and or a date. And to be fair, like you said, I have a comfier couch than any movie. I'm talking luxury seats. I have a comfier couch than any movie theater I've ever been to. I have a decent sized screen TV, and I don't have to worry about a child or a person on the phone or anybody coughing or anything like that. God. And if I want to hang out with my friends, we can all come over, have some cheaper party favors because the bars at movie theaters are ridiculous.
Oh my god, you want $9 a shot, bro?
$9 a shot? You mean $9 a mixed drink? But anyway, it's ridiculous. You're right. No, movie theaters. I really don't see the need anymore. Hell, the new Wonder Woman came out, which I probably would have went to theaters to see, and now I don't even think I want to watch it on Hulu because I'm not hearing great things about it. But
No. But yeah, in RIP movie theaters, you served your purpose. You were fun.
the experience is there, but cheapen up on those prices, homies.
I'm not paying $15 for a tub of popcorn that's only as big as my head.
I'm not paying $15 for a movie seat. Like, that's it.
$15 for a movie I can accept, but like when two people go to the theaters, when me and my wife go to the theaters, and like if we want to get snacks there, we're gonna spend upwards of $30 just for this experience. And I'm like, I don't think that for me this is not worth $30,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all it is.
For one Coke and one thing of popcorn.
Pepsi. We're sponsored by Pepsi now because
They're gonna save the
us.
world.
Yeah, they're gonna save us from the uprising.
So Dice's in memoriam. Let's get that piano back in here. So I actually didn't have my in memoriam until today, but we were discussing it, and I thought about how it has deeply affected my life and my relationship, and that is the Taco Bell menu.
No.
Taco Bell has recently taken a lot of things off their menu,
At least half.
but the number one thing that has affected my life is the loaded potato griller. Taco Bell, if you're here and you're listening and you're one of the 6 people who tune in,
The Taco Bell.
the Taco Bell, I'm talking to you. We used to have date nights where we would just end up at Taco Bell because we would bicker and argue about food, but Taco Bell was always there for us.
Always.
I'd always get the $5 box no matter what it was, because what a deal.
It was never disappointing.
And all she ever wanted was a loaded potato griller, or 3 loaded potato grillers,
3 of them.
and a slushie. That's
a
it.
Baja Blast slushie or like one of their slushes?
The Baja Blast.
The Baja. I mean, they're both really good. Don't get
I'm
me
sorry,
wrong,
a
but-
freezy. I'm sorry I disrespected you, Taco Bell. It's a
I'm s-
freezy.
I'm sorry, Taco Bell. Don't be mad.
Please bring the loaded potato griller back.
And your sponsorship dollars.
And the sponsors.
Yeah,
Bring
no.
potatoes back. Why would you ever? Who told you? Who lied to you, baby?
My favorite thing to get at Taco Bell was not a quesadilla. I can make those myself, thank you. Was a quesarito, which I can also make myself, to be fair. But their quesaritos were
I feel like it's less work to make the quesarito than the quesadilla.
kind of. The quesaritos were out of this world, and now they're gone.
I didn't know they took the
Forever.
quesaritos off. I never.
Yeah,
ate.
it's the only thing I ever get at Taco Bell, and I rolled up one day because Amanda was like, "Yeah, I want some Taco Bell. Bring home some Taco Bell today." And I was like, "Hell yeah, it's a Taco Bell day." I got in the drive-thru, I pulled up to the window, and I was like, "Yeah, can I get a chicken quesarito, a steak quesarito, and whatever my wife wanted?" Pretend that I didn't say
and
whatever
yes.
my wife wanted. She was like, "Sorry, sir, we don't serve any of those items anymore." And I was like, "What?" I literally didn't know what to do. So she was like, "Can I get you anything else?" I was like, "Can I get a Baja Blast and a Dole Whip?"
A Dole Whip?
Don't they have those? They have those Dole Whip things. Dude, they're so good. It's like an Orange Julius mixed with something else. It might not be called a Dole Whip, but it's an Orange Dole Whip something. It's so good.
Cool.
They still have those.
I don't know.
Go get those. But RIP to the rest of the menu. You will be sorely missed. I miss you already.
You've affected my life, Taco Bell. I want revenge. Or my potatoes.
I prefer potatoes. We've got 2 categories left. This next one's going to be very, very opinionated because it's literally just our opinion. We are both very obsessive people.
Contrary to the other categories where we have decided all of this and nobody else has had an opinion and it's fact now.
We've spoken about this at length before, how we both have the character trait of getting obsessed with something that we really, really like and then burning out on it.
Yeah.
Some obsessions, though, stand the test of time. Dice, what was your obsession of 2020?
My obsession of 2020, and we'll cater back to when you called me a weeb and a nerd and all that stuff. It may not have come out in 2020. It may have come out possibly almost 20 years ago, but it still has new episodes and mangas of it being written today. My
Naruto.
obsession of 2020 was One Piece. absolutely amazing. It completely has rewritten my opinion on what One Piece was. It has completely rewritten my opinion on what I want out of stories. I officially believe that if you world build, you are a genius. That's it. It may be as simple as that for me because my God, has One Piece been able, no anime like this has been able to make me cry, laugh, get invested in it. I have put down, like, I used to compare Seven Deadly Sins as one of my favorite animes, which it is still my favorite anime to this day. But the thing that captivated me about it is I always kind of do multitask things and I watch shows and I play games and I eat and I do stuff all at the same time. Seven Deadly Sins was able to make me stop doing everything else I was doing
And just watch
that show. And One Piece has done that countless times now. Countless times I have rewound scenes to make sure I went back and caught every little detail. They have introduced things at episode 365 that had to do with episode 52, and I went back and watched episode 52 so I could connect some dots. And Oda never forgets a thing. Everything has a purpose. If he shows you it, there's a reason. It's an anime about pirates, and it's the cliche friendship. I cried over Nami's scene. I cried over Robin's scene. Every time they do a flash, there was this part that I just watched, and it's the ending of the is it Archipelago?
Archipelago?
Sabati Archipelago arc. It is right before the Lily arc. It had the single-handedly saddest moment of my life, and if I was watching it at the time that it was released, I would have broke down in fucking tears. And the only reason I didn't is because I knew that there are more episodes after that episode.
You couldn't let all your tears out then.
I still cried because Luffy broke down like a man against Kuma, but couldn't save any of his friends, and I broke down in tears. And the only reason I fucking knew to not just let it all out is because there's another 500 episodes or something. But One Piece has been my obsession. I took a break from it for a little bit, but it came back harder than ever.
Oh, so hard. Sorry about that.
I need me a hentai bitch.
Hey, look, another reference.
That is another reference.
My obsession of 2020, there were two that I had a big problem deciding between. The loser of that fight, the runner-up, is Dreamville. I've been obsessed with every single Dreamville artist since I started listening to Revenge of the Dreamers 3 back in January.
And the obsession is Jid.
No, the obsession is Dreamville. It's just like the whole record label. I couldn't pick because like I went through all of J. Cole, Earthgang, Boz.
The funny bit is,
yeah,
it's not Dreamville. It's just Jid.
Just Jid. But my actual obsession, the thing I had to go back to, was something that I always do and always sink time into every single week, and it is roguelike deck builders. Whether it's Slay the Spire, Monster Train, a newer one that came out called Griftlands. I never liked deck builders before. Like, I remember specifically avoiding deck building games for a long time, and I think that changed when you gave me that copy of Dominion, your extra copy of Dominion, and I had it at my house. Me and Amanda started playing it, and I was like, oh, okay, I see how this game could be fun. And then I got really into Slay the Spire. And now there's probably close to 500 hours on my Slay the Spire save file.
That's fair.
I'm not going to say I'm almost done because I'm in the final ascension levels of each one. But Monster Train easily has 100 hours in it. I don't even know how much Griftland has. It's probably a lot less, but it's a game genre that I neglected for a long time, and I feel like that's why I fell in so hard to them. If you like deck building games, please play Slay the Spire.
That's what I did with Isaac, and I never played roguelikes until I played Isaac Afterbirth, and all of a sudden, roguelikes are my favorite game type.
Mm-hmm. Lastly, but most importantly, we want to take a look at the future.
It's 2021.
It's 2021 by now. Oh, sorry, Mike. We wanted to look for what's the thing that we're looking forward to? What's the light at the end of this tunnel? Dice, what are you looking forward to next year?
I am looking forward to. I really didn't have one for this.
Oh, I'll go first then. I mean, the one singular thing that I'm really looking forward to is Porter Robinson's new album. it has been confirmed that it is fully recorded and mastered. Now it's stuck in like the I call it the litigation period of an album when it's done, but it has to go through all the the music higher ups and blah 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 blah. So it's still going to be a few months out. It's definitely coming out in 2021 though. It's completely done, and so many Porter Robinson songs have made me cry. And by so many, I mean like 2 or 3, but that's more than every other artist out there.
Shelter. Oh, Shelter, such a tearjerker.
When oh god, what's the name of that song? I'm pretty sure it's on the playlist.
Oh, the other one?
I know Something Comforting. Actually, I don't think that one's on there. When Something Comforting came out, the first time I heard it, I bawled. Like, it broke me. It touched me in a way that I haven't been touched in a while. And don't make it weird because it was a beautiful, vulnerable moment. And it was honestly after hearing it, I'm pretty sure 2 weeks later was when I started therapy.
That's good.
It was a huge factor in my life, and I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the album. He's released like 3 other singles off of it so far, but I'm excited.
Really thinking about it, the thing I am looking forward to, there is no confirmation that it will happen in 2021. However, I'm going to will it into existence.
Is it Jojo related?
It is
I knew it!
It is going to be the announcement of season 6 of JoJo getting the animation and release. And that, I'm calling it. Dice's call of the year. Rocky has said many things about possibly wanting to skip right to season 8 for some reason, which doesn't make sense to me. I know he's very much invested in his story right now, but please give other people the arcs, especially the people who won't read the mangas. We need season 6. It needs to be willed into existence. We need Stone. We need Stone Ocean. That's it. We need it. All the JoJo fans need it.
What about all you folks out there? What do you think should have been, if you've got some favorites of the year for any of the categories, like I said, they're right in that description. Leave it down in the comments. Let us know what some of your favorites were from this year, or things that you're very sad are gone.
Or what are you looking forward to next year?
No, not that one so much.
Oh, okay. You don't get to have opinions. We only get to tune in next year for
You get to have opinions, not predictions.
Tune in next year for our 2021 announcements.
Oh my god.
And see if your predictions made the list. Probably not.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jayne Cobb. That's Dice. You can find us on Twitch every single Tuesday at twitch.tv/Salty Entertainment Fun Time. And you can find Jack on there on Fridays. We start around 6, 7 p.m. We hope to see you there tonight. As always, thank you for joining us here on the 421. We love you. Good night.
Good night.